And our question is why we have this costume in our tradition that people dress in Purim. What's the meaning? What's the idea of the fact that we dressed up in Purim? In Hebrew word tachposet, it comes from word chipus, lichapes, that you have to look for something. When you see someone dressed up, you should know that something is hiding behind this clothing, and what we are, what we should look for behind our clothing. We should look for ourselves. Who are we? Who we are, really. You probably remember this expression in Torah that Adam and Eve, when they were in the Garden of Eden, they were naked and they didn't shame. Lo itboshashu. And the question is why? Why they not? They weren't shy from nobody, and why they were naked. So our Chazal, they explained that the fact that they didn't shy from nobody is because they didn't perceive themselves as somebody. It's look like us. If you have to be naked in some room that you have their aquarium with fishes, would you be embarrassed in front of them?
The fish?
In fishes? No, probably not, right? Okay, but most of the people, they would can be absolutely naked in front of aquarium. You say in English aquarium? Aquarium with fishes. And who will, and if you do, you probably won't be embarrassed in front of ant.
Okay.
So but ant, it's a creature. Why are we not embarrassed? It's because we understand that you embarrass from somebody that he is separate from you. He has separate perception. He's different from you. And that's why you are embarrassed. And that's how they feel in front of God. They didn't perceive themselves like somebody that exists by itself. They saw themselves like revelation of God. Like we know that we have our stomach, our liver, our heart, our lung, but we don't perceive them as that somebody else. It's us. Like woman that she's pregnant, she has somebody inside of her, but she doesn't relate to her. How you say ubar?
Fetus. This fetus and this embryo.
Embryon. He didn't. He doesn't relate to her embryon like somebody, though that it's somebody. And that's why. That's how they perceive themselves. And only And only after the sin, they start to look at themselves as somebody else, somebody different from God.
And when they see it, when they see their
Sin.
baby, when they see their baby,
Again?
when the woman sees her baby, she
when they sin.
Oh, sin.
Sin.
Okay, sorry.
After that, they ate from fruit of knowledge, tree of knowledge. They start to perceive themselves like somebody else, somebody different from God. That was the sin. It wasn't like they ate a banana. It's so terrible. It's so great thing that you have to pay for that all human beings, all generation. It's not the situation. Okay, so they ate. So what's the big deal that they ate banana? No, it wasn't banana. It was apple. So okay, what's the difference? The difference is that by eating some fruit, or by doing something that forbidden to do, they became be somebody else from a God. It's like a child today. In our every child, when he says to his mother, until age approximately 2, 1.5, 2, they're not able to say no. They can, you can learn, you can teach him to say no, like you can teach him to say light, but child doesn't know how to use the word no. Why? Because he is not, he sees himself like part of his mother, and only when he learn how to see, how to say no, how to reject her will, then he became be somebody else. And that was the sin of transgression of Adam Rishon.
This was because the baby is in the, when the woman is pregnant, is in her body probably, right?
Yeah.
So with the sin of the tree of knowledge, man gained subjective morality, to my understanding. And since God has objective morality, before there was an understanding of subjective morality, there was no separation. Now we're distant from God, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something.
So,
Okay. Now, and that is the meaning of exile. You say outside, you go out, exile to get out, is that from Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden, it's not some place that there were trees and some animals or something like that. Garden of Eden, it's a level of perception. And when they went out of Garden of Eden, it wasn't like a geographical or topographical event. It was psychological event, or philosophical or event, not physical. It's like a mother and father. They want to talk with each other, and their child won't hear what they talk. What they can do, they can go out to another room, right? Or they can ask him to go out to the from this room, from their room, right? Or there is a third opportunity. They can start to talk in language that he doesn't understand. And then he's in different reality. He's in another place without being physically went in any place. That's what happened to Adam and Eve when they went out of Gan Eden. They didn't go to any place. And general, we have to understand that everything that it's written about Gan Eden, Gehinom, and all hell, and all those, it's not a places. It's a way of perception, and when man start perceive reality in his that separate from Hashem, it was his exile from Garden of Eden. He became think in dichotomy, like in a dualistic way. That is me, it is me, and there is a God. There are two, me and God. But really, there is no such a thing like a Garden of Eden that you can get in there or go out of there. That's how Ramban says that. I'll translate you, but Ramban says that in his book Torat Adam, B'Shar HaGemul. Ramban says, Hagan והעדן התחתונים הן הצידו. I will tell just יש בעליונים השגה שנקראת בדברי רבותינו ברמז גן. There is such a in upper world there is a way of perception. השגה.
לא להשיג.
להשיג, לקלוט. השגה. How you say in English השגה in this?
Well, להשיג is kind of also achieve.
No.
But,
It's
הקבלה, כאילו...
הבנה, השגה. Perception. Just a moment, I want to open Windows. It's a little bit... If it will be cold, tell me, I will close, okay?
Okay.
You are cold?
Straight to me.
You know, from Canada or something like this, like. I see. I'm from Russia. I'm always hot from Siberia. It's
cold. It's cool.
It's cool, a little. And asaga in Hebrew, it's a way of understand, to understand, אתה משיג מה שאני אומר, אתה קולט מה שאני אומר, you perceive, get what I'm saying. השגה נקראת בדברי רבותינו ברמז גן, והשגה למעלה ממנו, שהוא נקראת עדן. There is garden, and there is Eden. It's not the same place. It's garden. It's like a castle or like some palace. And you have a garden around this palace, and there are two different places. It's not the same.
Eden is the palace.
Eden is the palace, and Gan, it's low place. And that is the meaning. It's they, after their sin, they start to perceive reality in different way, and that's what we call our world. The idea of world or reality. What does it mean, this word reality? What it is, reality? Reality, it's a way of perception. It's how you perceive. what happened. Maybe I'll give you an example. That I talk about that a few times, maybe a few years ago, or maybe less. But imagine that someone sitting here in this chair, and he is deaf.
No shamakim.
And he's sitting here in this table with us, but everything that he present, his body present here, he's not present in our lesson. Think about what he perceived in this situation. He perceived that there are some people here, that there's a camera, that there is a rabbi with a hat, a black hat and white beard, and there is another white beard. The people talk, that's what he see. But really what happened here in this lesson, it's not that there is a rabbi that moves his hands. Really what happened, and it's some ideas that we talk here now. But what he sees, that I opened this window and I talk about you, and I did something, and that's what he sees. He perceived different reality than you were a few minutes ago.
Unless he can read your lips.
Yeah. Now imagine that he is not only deaf, but he also blind. In this situation, he doesn't know that we are sitting here, that we are exist in this room. So what he's doing here? He sitting here. He read his book in Braille, and he eat some watermelon, and he smell his tobacco. There is all kind of tobacco that you smell, and he is in his world. He doesn't know that we are here at all. How he know?
Touch him.
If you didn't touch. We are sitting here. I touch you. What way should I touch you?
They can feel things.
How?
You feel something.
I don't know how.
How?
Because
They have
there
senses.
are everything that lacking, the other senses compensate for it.
Yes.
not all
Yeah,
the
it's
time.
true. It's true. But you know that. But you can imagine that we can.
I mean,
For
Uh,
example, we are warm, so he feels that there's more cold, more hot
Like we say,
in
it's
the
the
room.
person is blind.
Or maybe the vibration you can feel. I don't know.
but we can do that. He won't know that we are here.
The
They
fact
have
that we're
other
sitting
senses.
together, it's I don't know.
What
It
he's
gets
talking about
hotter
is
because
like,
there are people in the same room. Before
But
it
he
was
doesn't know
colder.
why he became now cold. Maybe it's sun start to shining, or
Or become sensitive to.
yes, it's true theoretically. But I say, you know, that we can make this situation that we'll be here, that he won't know about us. You know that in principle I'm talking. So where he is, he's in different world. And we are in different world towards compares to him. Now imagine to yourself that he has no two senses less than he has, like we are. Instead of 5, he has 3. But he have 7 or 8. In this situation, who is blind here? Deaf and blind. Comparison to him. We're so blind in this situation that we even we are not aware that he really sitting here. You see, we don't see him. So it's a question of perception. It's not a question of reality. Reality, it's a result of interaction between some object and some subject, somebody that perceives this object. And that's what we call Gan Eden, the way of perception. If you are in such a high level that you, spiritual level, so in very, very high level, so you are you aware of those good things that you did in this world after your death. But that doesn't mean death, someone died. It means that his perception changed. He didn't go to any place. He not disappeared. So what happened to him that he died? What happened to him? It's he changed his perception. He released from his limitations. And in Hebrew, when someone dies, you call it niftar. Niftar, it means that he were released from his perception, his limitation. And when you start to perceive reality without those limitations, and you see that how important were things that you did here and how good those things that you did here, so you are so happy, you so appreciate that, you're so complete with yourself what you did, that they call that Gan Eden, Garden of Eden. And if you were very inside of this world, you were influenced by matter of this world, of your desires, of your temptation, that you were all your body you decided what you'll do, not your brain, your mind, or yours. And this, you call that Gehenom. You start to perceive reality in real way, and so what you did, you did Gehenom. You are in a Gehenom. Those ideas. Now, Chazal says that man, when Adam and Eve, when they were in the Garden of Eden, they didn't have a body. They weren't physical.
I heard they were like nails.
Pardon?
I heard once they were nails.
Nails. No, there is midrash that they, like nails, they don't have a hair. That's the way how he's didn't have hair. But the idea is that man and everything they describe in 6 days of creation, those 6 days they weren't physical. You cannot make a picture of Adam in Garden of Eden. It was an idea that you cannot make a picture of some idea. That was Adam, and also animals, that he gave names to animals, and the sun and moon and the trees, everything that was there. All those, it wasn't physical. There is some. It's what I'm talking now. It says Ramchal in his book Dat Tvunot. Dat Tvunot, it's one of the famous book of Ramchal. He look, yeah.
In English, it's the knowing heart.
Ah, you have here this book?
Yeah,
Oh, please, open. It's very.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I share it. Yeah.
It's on the middle shelf here. Left. There. That shelf. It's the knowing heart. It's called.
It's here. This one.
Ah, very good. Thank you very much.
It's a conversation between
Yes,
the
yes.
intellect and the soul.
And soul, yeah. Just.
About it, but not everything I have it with it. People.
No, Moshe Kaplan taught us like
I have a place in that will not only about the pages of everything that it's written, and here it's different pages. But I'm sorry that I know why. They gave in each page. Maybe it will be what time. Maybe it will be here. If I'm sorry that it takes time, but I think if you find that, it will be for you very important to hear, because it's difficult to translate.
Can I give you a Hebrew one from upstairs?
No. It will take more time. No, okay. It's I'll try to translate you. It's written like this. He says, and you should know that Gan Eden, it's a very tiny and spiritual place, that there are spirits now, and Torah said that Adam was in this place, that were souls. So if it's souls, it's impossible that it will be something physical. ואומנם כיוון שהמקום שאנו רואים הוא עכשיו מדור נשמות, צריך שהפירות שהיו, and now when it's if it's place for souls, if Garden of Eden is place of souls, צריך שהפירות שהיו שם לא היו דברים גשמיים וגסים. So the fruits that exist in this world, also they have to be not physical and not rough, מה?
Spiritual.
But spiritual. כמו שהם פירות של העולם הזה, it's impossible that like in our world. אלא יותר דקים, מאוד מאוד, and very very tiny, much tinier than what's here in this world. כערך אוויר לגבי עפר. Like you can compare like air compares it to earth. So the difference between fruits of Garden of Eden, it's a fruits that we know here in this world. At least, he says, לפחות, I'll tell you in Hebrew. אלא יותר דקים ומאוד מאוד כערך האוויר לגבי עפר לפחות. At least you compare it like a... ותראי כי הגופניות של אדם הראשון, and now you should know that even the body of a man, of a first man, Adam, קודם חטאו, before חטא, היה בערך הרוחניות אשר לו אתה. It was like like what we call today soul, that was his body.
His reality.
In Garden of Eden, before sin.
Before the sin, he was only spiritual.
Yes. Before the sin, he was only
The
spiritual.
world was
All the world, everything,
not physical.
it wasn't physical. That says Ramchal, Maharal, Ramban, and a lot of comment, Rabbeinu Bechayei, a lot, Agra.
So the physical world is part of the chet?
No, physical world, it's a way of perception. It's like if I'll tell you something. It's very important when we learn Torah to be humble. Why it have to be humble? Because if you're not humble, you take your ideas, what you think, and you glue it to a Torah.
Okay.
You think that what you think it's right. But we try to learn Torah from Ramchal, not what I think, not what my opinion. I want to know what Chazal says about that, not what my opinion about that, but how I perceive. You base it on what when you have your opinion about Garden of Eden? What you were there? You know what it is? So how do you know that it was physical? Who told you that? You learn in Chumash what you understand, but in Chumash it's written if you take ice of something, you have to take your eyes too. It's literally you understand Chumash? No. So all Chumash, all Torah, you not understand literally. Chazal explain us how to understand that, and they told us. Body, it's only our dressing. It's a costume. It's tachposet. It's not who we are. The problem is that we identified ourselves with ourselves, not with the body. Children, they identify themselves with the body. They say, this is me. But the adult people, they identify themselves with the toda'ah. I don't know how to say it in English.
Identity?
How to say?
Identity?
No.
Awareness.
With their conscious, with their understanding, with their spirituality. They think, who am I? I'm a spiritual person. I'm what I think, my perceptions. But really, like we are not our body, we are also not our spirit. We're much higher than just your intellectual presence here. So, but who are we? We are, like it was before a sin, we are inner part of no end, of Ein Sof, of eternity, of infinity.
This is the song.
But it's impossible to live like this. And that's why Hashem limited our perception, and that means that He gives us our body, and by this body we appear here. But it's not us, it's just how we present ourselves. It's not real us. Like you see some policeman, you think that he is policeman, right? But his son says, "No, he's my father."
His wife says,
Yes, it's my husband. But for you, he is like a policeman, or you see he's soldier. You see like a cookman. You say cook, somebody that tabach that he cooker. Cook.
Chef.
That he cook, chef, yeah, you see, he's chef. Why he has a head? But he's not. That's how we are not. It's his costume. And that is the idea of Purim. Purim, it's you come to some room and you see I'm sitting there, and you see that I'm cowboy. Like this.
it's a good picture. It's a good picture. Just to get some whiskey and a
Yeah, wow. But and I have a gun also, you see. And you understand that I'm not cowboy, right? That's what Purim makes. You see me, I'm cowboy, and you understand that I'm not.
You might fool me.
The same thing when you see me as a rabbi. It's my costume. It's just head, you see? It's costed 300 shekels, something like that. It's nothing. It's a costume. It's a dress. It's not me. Like this body also is not me. It's the same. I'm something else. I'm a soul. And that's what Purim makes to us. This costume that we have to dress up on Purim, it's in order to tell us that as you are not cowboy, you are not a policeman, you are not a cook, you are not teacher, you are not rabbi, you are not Yossi, you are not Moshe, you are not Benjamin. Yes, please.
That's a good question. So something I've trouble understanding is how can we have an individual soul, and there's also the limitless.
Yes,
So
I'll
there's
tell.
only-
I understand the question. I'll tell you shortly. You have you identified yourself now with yourself that's sitting here now, but you logically understand that you were very different than you are now 20 years ago.
I was 3 years old. Yeah.
So you changed. And you know that you are 3 years old, 13 years old, it's somebody else. It's not what's sitting here. You have not only different body, you have also different perception, different mind, different ideas. You are absolutely different than you were 10 years ago. So you are changed all the time. And now, what you have you identified yourself with your limitation. Do you know that you are a process? You're not some moment. You are process, and this process not end after our death, and it doesn't start from when we were born. We are dispersed in a reality, and one of your shades of yourself is what is sitting here now in this moment. It's a answer to your question.
Listen, I guess the question is more that's a part of it. And the other part is, even when I was 3 years old to today, and then after this life and before this life, that I was still a soul. But
No, it was just one of. It's like a diamond has different parts of the same diamond. You weren't a soul individual. You never. We are not individuals. We are like shades of some.
Faces.
How say?
The faces on the different faces on the
Different faces. Like you have in diamond, you have different like how? Sides. Okay, sides. Side. You can say shade like it's like a gavan. You are gavan. We are gavan of oneness. It's like a white color, white light. Light have a lot of. When you say when you look in prisma in the light, you have a lot of colors.
on the spectrum.
The spectrum, right? It's different shades of what, of which color, with no color, with of a light. But each color, it's one of shades of this spectrum, and that is our personalities and our souls.
So the traditional interpretation, like we often come around, is like of Olam Haba is like there'll be physical or redemption, and also that like in Shemayim that the different souls will go, and then there'll be different rooms to study Torah. You can study Torah with Yosef Tzaddik or with Abraham Avinu or David, or that the soul is still, to my understanding, the soul is still somewhat detached, but still unified with the Creator in a way that we're not now. But how do we rectify that with the idea that there's only Ein Sof? I'm a little confused.
Yes, but I understand the way, like a direction of your question. It's when we say that we learn from David, King David, or Avraham Avinu, or all that. It's not somebody that it was Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, it's us, but in very, very high level of ourself.
This is the cloud.
What?
Part of the cloud.
Yes, part of the cloud. Yeah. We call Israel.
Okay.
And
that makes sense. We're of different shades.
yes,
and like we go back to shadeless.
Exactly, like
unity.
you today, you are Avraham Avinu of yourself when you were 13 years old. To him, when you were 13 years old, if I will show him you now sitting here with Payas, he will laugh at you. He say, "No, it's impossible. It's unbelievable. It's me. It's no way."
Avraham Avinu would see Michael. He would see himself.
If Michael, when he was, if you not come from a religious family, I don't know. You came from a religious family?
Assimilated.
Oh, yourself. So imagine yourself that you are 10 years old. Now you see Michael today sitting here, and where? In Jerusalem? What are you doing there? In Jerusalem?
I would be very confused. I'd be like,
So who are you now towards this Michael, 10 years old, you are Avraham Avinu. You are his Avraham Avinu. And think, we have to summarize, I have to stop this lesson, but I'll tell you, think logically, what it makes sense to you more. Your picture that you go to some heaven or to some stratosphere. I don't know where is this heaven is. Where is this heaven? It's in sky, like in where it is. Your soul go there and you sit there and you learn Torah with what? With books. But everything that it's written, it's true. But you have to understand in deep way what it's written, not in a animated cartoons like a Disney World, what it is, Garden of Eden or Olam Haba, or like the world to come, like in Disneyland. It's not. It's something you have to understand it deep. And in deep, it's everything's true. You really will learn with Avraham Avinu. No doubt. And that is the idea of Purim. Purim teach us that everything that you see here, it's a dressing. It's just dressing. Purim Sameach. Purim Sameach.